Hello and welcome to our channel Overtriggered. Today we got a very special deck. It's one of my personal creations and just a mess. It's Dragonic OverDress. I splash Nirvana with Overlord. And if you're thinking, what the fuck is this shit? Then you're totally right. It's a total mess of a deck, but it's very fun to play and it surprises your opponent. And it's just a fun deck, nothing competitive. It's like one times a month local deck to just mess around. The name finding was the biggest issue in this deck, not even the building, cause I never knew how to call it. I called it first Dragonic Nirvana Turbo or stuff like that. But a shout out to Budget Deku who got me the inspiration of the name finding, so I just call it now Dragonic Overdress since it got the Overlord in it and also the Overdress part. So I think this is very nice, and now let's go into the deck profile. Okay, first to the red line. We play the standard grade 0 of Overlord so that we confuse our opponent. That's the strongest part of this deck, confusing. And then we play the Rhino, grade 1 of Nirvana with the grade 2, so we can call the Trickster out. That's a very important part in this deck. And then we just go into Overlord, not proccing Rayos effect and confusing the opponent even more, because this deck builds on confusion. If you don't know what you are playing, the opponent will also know what you're playing. Then we play 2 Persona Rights. I cut this to 1 usually, but I put in a second one because you will only Persona Right once in this deck. Either then you are dead or the opponent is dead, so don't bother playing more. Then we come to the heart of this deck, like in Nirvana Turbo. This is your peace card. This is the whole engine, this card. If you don't draw this card, you pretty much don't do anything in this deck like other cards. You will see it. Then we play 4 Expectas, maxing out on D-BT03 cards. Expecta is just great because it's a big beat stick and gets an additional crit, and with this build you will overdress like 6 times a turn. Then 3 Valientes. Valiente is just a great card, also you can overdress it more. It's better than Urger and Verena in this deck. Then of course 4 Arcs. Arcs is your centerpiece. It's always nice to draw because you get more combo pieces and then you can keep on overdressing and overdressing. Then I play 3 Virenas. I try to play 4 of that and only 2 Valiente, but then after realizing you can put Valiente also just on the Trickster like a usual Virena, and you can put Valiente over top on top of everything else, I just decided to play 3 Virenas and 3 Valientes. Then of course, for Tricksters in the main deck, you really need to hard draw this card cause you have no other way to get it to the field except for calling it. Cause you play the Overlord as the grade 3, so if your Trickster is in the grave, he's finished. There is no Trickster anymore. Then we come to a weirder card in this deck. It's Gojo. Since your deck is very counterblast heavy, you need the Gojo to resolve Overlord's effect more effectively, so you save 1 counterblast for all the time, and 4 Gojos really help with that. And if you don't need it, it's like an additional 8k for the Vanguard, and the Vanguard is gonna be pretty big, so if you know the opponent won't have a PG in hand, he will have to guard with the whole hand probably. And the last 2 units we play is Madoka, cause it's a nice 10k boost and also a 15k shield at the same time. So it's just a very versatile card, and since we don't play any PGs in this deck as you saw, we just play Madokas since it serves both purposes. So Madoka is definitely the way to go, and since we don't play any PGs, you just know it's a meme deck. Be honest. Be honest. After that, quick trigger lineup, classic over trigger, it's really good in Overlord. Then 3 fronts, cause we would just want to pump out as much as possible. Then 4 heals, maybe even cutting heals. You can do it since it's a meme deck, just play 4 draws or 7 fronts. I would like to try. Probably it's not even a bad idea to play 7 fronts since we played then. I have to try it. Oh my god, why didn't I try? And 8 crits, of course. You go for the 7 fronts, cause it doesn't matter if we don't even got the PGs. If you want to go full meme, just play 7 fronts. Nobody will care at this point. Alright, what we will do now is a small playtesting, just for explaining purposes and how I play it, and to share my experience with it. So I shuffle the deck, nothing is stacked, everything is just a usual duel, and now we draw our first 5 cards, and I will show you my centerpieces, and that's not 3 times the heal trigger. Jesus, why is this? Okay, we're gonna put those on the bottom of the deck and draw 4 new cards. And now we're saved, we have won the game. Since this deck relies on the order and 1 trickster. 1 trickster you're gonna call out the deck and you want to... it needs to be safe. And we got already 1 Valiente, that's nice, so we will see what we draw, but drawing OverDress unit isn't the hard part, it's the hard part getting those 2 always to hand, the Trickster and the Prayas. Now for fairness, we will just roll the dice, going odd even. I am odd, even the enemy starts, so we rolled even. And that's really good, since we want to go second. It sounds stupid, but we want to go second. We want to have as much hand as possible, and we get to attack first. How much damage we get, we don't care. We want 5 damage at turn 3. That's the perfect goal. When we got 5 damage, we can go all out. And the thing about this deck is to finish your opponent on his on our 3rd turn. And the reason why is then he got the lowest hand size probably, especially if we if he played everything on the field. And that's also the most likely time that he doesn't have much PGs, because PGs just destroy you, because everything will be so high. He just needs to PG, otherwise he will take a lot of damage. Alright, now he got second, he got first, sorry, we got second, so we draw a card. Another Trickster, that's pretty good, we're just gonna discard Gojo. And right, getting additional draw, that's nice, but not a must-have. And we'll sort my hand really quick. Okay, and then we swing with Rhino, drive checking, it's a Gojo, nice, then it's his turn or her turn, attacking us, we gladly take the damage. That's sadly an Arcs, we could have needed that. Then we draw for turn, standing, discarding the order, since we only need 1, we will only resolve 1, not more. Riding Ryu, calling a Trickster, it's on the bottom of the deck, nice. Right, we call the Trickster, now we don't have an Arcs, and we don't use Arcs right here, we always use it with the order in the 3rd turn. I misplayed it sometime in the tournament, but now I'm sure this is the right way to go, so we just put the Trickster down here so he can't be attacked. And then swing for 12k, drawing an Expector, that's pretty unexpected. It's time to stop! And then it's his turn, attacking aggressively, it's his grade 3 turn, so we take 2 damage, we don't heal probably. Okay, then we heal, that's pretty bad, but let's assume we don't. And we take another one. Oh my god, 3 triggers, what the fuck, yeah, okay. Because we really don't want to guard, we don't want to waste any hand. That's why now we assume we got 3 damage. Then we draw for turn, standing our unit. And now we have to think what to discard. Those are needed. We need those 5 cards. The other Tricksters are pretty irrelevant, so I would say we discard a Trickster from hand to ride our Overlord. And now we can do the fun part, but we only got 3 OverDress unit, that's pretty unlucky. Now you could say we just play it safe, but and we wait another turn and then do it with the Persona, right? But we don't have any shield in hand, like literally we got 15k in hand. we won't survive long with 4 damage. So me personally, I would go out totally. So putting it Trickster in front, playing the order, using 1 counterblast. Sadly, the Arcs isn't in hand, but it will be fine. So we just ride a Valiente above and then draw, see what's coming. Then after that I would put a Valiente on top of Valiente, since you want to keep your rearguard space open if you draw an Arcs or a Valrina. So additional draw, it's a crit trigger. Then putting Expector on top, again a crit trigger. Now this is very unlucky, but it is what it is, and that's why I went 1-4. But our Vanguard would be at 15k plus, so it would be on 28, and our Expector would be on 31 plus 13 is 44k, and with the skill it's on 59. Now you would need 2 counterblasts, you have 1 left, that would be for the Arcs or for the second Expector, or you can just play a Gojo and save it up. I would do it like this way. Alright, now since we messed up like the whole life who plays this deck, we're just gonna swing at the rearguard with Gojo and drive checking 2. Putting crit power everything on Vanguard, so now he's on 28, 38, second check, nothing, standing and retiring, since we counter charge and then use a counter blast, probably discarding a Gojo. You won't live that long, you have already 1 in hand, and then swinging for 38 with a double crit. Seeing what he's doing, and there is another crit, putting right here. And if you know he does have a PG, like he drive checked 1, don't use the skill, just keep him here, especially right now. I would keep him here since we didn't get the full combo off. Then he attacks us, we guarding with the whole hand and taking 1 additional damage. It's a heal, this one does for sure come off. And then it's our turn again, and now we have nothing in hand, no combo pieces. That's the thing about this deck. Once you play your combo, it's like nothing more, and that's where Expector helps us, cause he's just a big beat stick, and the only way to get rid of him is Loronero attacking you or a retiring effect. So it's always nice to keep it here if you are really out of resources. So the Persona Ride gets us another draw. It's a critical trigger, not that great, but at this time we would just play it like here, and remember to use Verina's effect since you don't need your soul at all. So your crit trigger is like just, yeah, it's just here. You don't really need it, to be honest. But you can boost with Trickster. I forgot it last time. And as you see, I already have no hand and all resources gone. This would be my final turn, attacking at the rear guard, drive checking 2. It's 2 Expectors. Yeah, I expected something like that. That's also the same thing that happened to me at the tournament. And then restanding, discarding, counterblasting, and swinging again with only 31, drive checking 1, it's a front trigger, that's pretty big. Attacking, using the skill, retiring anything, maybe even my own Gojo, cause it doesn't matter at this point, and you then attack with Expector using the skill and hope you finish him, since you will die next turn cause you only have 30k shield. This deck is such a mess. And now there are some overdress units and the over trigger. So as you see, this deck isn't that consistent. It can be when you got the right week, like I did at the beginning when I played this deck. Then I got all the time full combo, everything out. But maybe the key is to get this deck to work is just playing 4 Urgas and maxing out on all overdress units. And this is a more mediocre build. Like, it's already a mediocre build. Why would I make it consistent? That's my reasoning behind it. Why should I make anything consistent which is in the nature inconsistent? And just trying to have fun with this deck, and I can assure you this deck is the funniest deck I ever played. Since the reactions are 90% of playing this deck. the reactions of your opponents, they're gonna be amazing. I swear it. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this piece of meme shit. Cause I really do, and I hope you try it out, cause it's just a fun deck, and I hope this weird build gets another support somehow, somewhere in the next set, and I will keep you updated. Then till Tuesday, till next time.